New Orleans making national headlines as the murder capital of the U.S.
Absolutely. Metropolitan Crime Commission says per capita homicides are higher than every other city in the United States.
Tonight, New Orleans is a city in crisis. Police are looking for leads.
Extremely violent crime wave.
The teenage boy is now dead.
Shot and killed overnight.
Dubbed the murder capital of the country.
A G, a gangster. Street talk for a tough guy, has died.
Is there heaven for a gangster?
It's a lyric from a rap song. The rapper, Master P.
Anything could happen to you. So I knew I could die, which a lot of my friends, they just thought they was tough. My brothers, you know, all of them died at a young age because they feared nothing.
Here in the B.W. Cooper housing project comes as a result of a 6-week event.
I specifically remember the 35 people that were killed in the 6-block area in the Calliope housing project, man, in 1 year.
Still one of the most violent places in one of the most violent cities in the country. Calliope Projects, 3rd Ward, New Orleans.
You body, we'll say you body.
Kevin Miller was born on March 12, 1968, in New Orleans, Louisiana, to his mother, Josie Miller, and his father, Percy Miller Sr. Kevin was the second oldest of 5 kids, including his older brother Percy, his younger brothers Corey and Vyshawn, and their sister Germany. They all were extremely close growing up. According to their sister, they were like the Jackson 5. Percy would DJ the family house parties while his little brothers and sister danced. And where they had to grow up at, you definitely needed a solid foundation in order to make it out, because they lived in one of the most dangerous projects not just in New Orleans, but in the entire United States, the 3rd Ward Calliope Projects. And throughout Kevin's childhood, it would earn the title of murder capital on multiple occasions. And it was also during the time of one of the most dangerous drug wars in New Orleans history, between the Mets gang and the Clay gang. By the time Kevin was in the 5th grade, his mom and dad decided to get a divorce, and the divorce would also split up the siblings, with the 3 youngest going to live with their mom, while Kevin and Percy went to go stay with their dad, who lived with their grandparents, Claude and Maxine Miller. Their grandmother worked as a nurse at a local hospital, while their grandfather worked at McKenzie Bakery. But despite their hard work, the living conditions for Kevin and his brother Percy was extreme poverty. Their grandparents had 12 kids who all stayed at the home. Add on Kevin and Percy, and that's 16 people in a 3-bedroom house. Not having anything to eat was common, and so was using water to eat cereal. They were still able to keep a positive attitude despite their dire circumstances, and even though their parents broke up, their mom still made sure that the siblings could all be together, so she would drive from the Magnolia Projects to the Calliope Projects each day, so Corey, Vyshawn, and Germany could spend time with their 2 older brothers. And after their grandfather passed away in 1983, after being given the wrong medication at a VA hospital, Kevin and Percy knew now more than ever they had to step up for their family. Kevin and Percy would often talk about making it out of the projects and taking care of their family. Their meal ticket was basketball, and if one of them could make it to the league, they could get their family out of poverty. The 2 brothers bonded over their love of basketball, and by the time Percy was in the 12th grade, he had transferred from Booker T. Washington High School to Warren Easton High School so he could play alongside his brother Kevin. Percy would spend hours at the basketball courts around the neighborhood, working on his game well into the night. But while he was chasing hoop dreams, his brother Kevin started to chase street dreams. He started running with a group called the Tuesday Crew. His brother Percy also had affiliations with them, but wasn't as embedded as Kevin. It's said that they got the name the Tuesday Crew due to a botched robbery attempt that became famous in the hood that happened to go down on a Tuesday. The excitement of the streets was tempting to Percy as well, but he already had his path set. He was getting recruited by basketball programs all over the country, and ultimately got a scholarship to play at the University of Houston, which was a very high-profile program during this time, after the success of Phi Slama Jama, Clyde Drexler, and Akeem Olajuwon. But during the practice heading into his first season, Percy tore his ACL, which put his basketball dreams in serious jeopardy and forced him to return home to New Orleans. He needed money fast. Not only did he have his girlfriend Sonia to provide for, they also had a newborn son, Romeo. So he started selling drugs, hustling, whatever he had to do to get money, as long as the outcome was income. By this time, Kevin's name was already ringing out in the streets along with his Tuesday crew, and although it was a wider faction of individuals affiliated with them, there were 7 core people who made up the crew. Brothers Bruce and Brunell Jackson, Kevin Miller, Clokey, Lil Nat, Johnny and Chan. They were known for being flashy and getting a lot of money. Dressing to impress was a part of their reputation. They would shop at high-priced stores like Porter Stevens and Rubenstein's, and when they wanted new jewelry, they would go to the New Orleans Gold Exchange on Canal Street or go to Irvin the Jeweler for their gold rope chains. They all had 5.0 Mustangs and became so synonymous with the vehicle that they would earn another nickname, the 5.0 Boys. They had their own section of the Calliope projects where they were moving work and getting a lot of money. And even though they weren't known for catching bodies, they did have a deadly turf war with 3 other well-known hustlers from the Calliope projects, Tony D, Levi, and JoJo. Elders from the Calliope had to get involved to bring their beef to an end because it was getting too violent. The Tuesday crew had a solid reputation around New Orleans and was well connected. Kevin was known for his charisma and charm and was popular with the girls from around his way. He never had the reputation of a shooter, but didn't have a problem letting it be known that he wasn't the one to play with.
Kev was like our big dog. You know, Kev used to bring us everywhere. We go play 4-man basketball and we wouldn't lose. You know, Kev was good. And he was under P. He was older than C.
So how was he? Like,
man, Kev was a fool, man. Kev was one of the boot up niggas. Like, Kev would go anywhere. He would, fuck you looking at, nigga. You know, he was a fool.
Percy was getting a good amount of money in the drug game, but he knew it wouldn't last long because on the streets of the Third Ward Calliope projects, death was always around the corner. He refused to let his son Romeo grow up in the same environment that he did. So in 1988, him and his girlfriend Sonia decided to relocate to Richmond, California. He was working a 9-to-5 job trying to figure out his next move, until one day he drove by a record store and seen a long line of people standing outside, and that's when the idea hit him. Not only did he need his own record store, he needed his own record label. He remembered his grandmother always telling him and Kevin, as long as you believe in yourself, there's no limit to what you can achieve in life. And that's the moment that No Limit Records was born. Percy believed that music could be his ticket and his family's ticket out of poverty. And he soon changed his name to Master P because he was gonna master the music business. He received $10,000 from a malpractice settlement from after his grandfather passed away. He used that money to buy a record store that would also serve as the headquarters of No Limit and their living quarters. Due to what he had seen in the streets, Master P didn't have a lot of trust, so he wanted No Limit to be a family affair. By this time, his younger brother Corey had already joined the United States Army, but he wanted his other 2 brothers and his sister to come out to California and help jumpstart No Limit, and it would serve as a way to get them out of the dangerous Calliope projects. Vishon in Germany decided to go, but Kevin stayed. He wasn't ready to leave the street life behind. Master P would spend the next year trying to get his brother to change his mind and to change his life. And when he would talk to his younger brother about how dangerous that lifestyle is, Kevin would simply respond, "I'm never gonna die. I'm gonna live forever." The street life had an intoxicating hold on Kevin, and he just couldn't break free. Master P released his debut album, Mind of a Psychopath, in February of 1990. But just 7 months later, he would get the most devastating news of his entire life. Because on September 26, 1990, Kevin's body was found on the side of the highway by state troopers on Interstate I-10. He had been shot multiple times, and his body had been there for almost 2 weeks. As soon as Master P got the news, he got in his car and drove overnight from Richmond to New Orleans. He couldn't believe that Kevin was really gone because he wasn't just his brother, he was his best friend. And after his brother Corey couldn't get emergency leave from the military, he decided to go AWOL so he could attend his brother Kevin's funeral and so he could be with his family.
Said he never died, but now he's 6 feet deep with a tombstone. Oh my God, my brother's gone.
And I'm running the store. Before he left, Kevin had called
And P was asking Kevin, come on out here, man. He was begging him to come out here. Come on in, and I'm telling him, come on, Kevin. It's better out here because it's more. You got more ground out there. New Orleans is just so small and condensed. Everybody killing each other. So he didn't listen, and the next day Kevin got met his demise.
Anything could happen to you. So I knew I could die, which a lot of my friends, they just thought they was tough. My brothers, you know, all of them died at a young age because they feared nothing. And so I think having that fear, knowing that I can die, kept me to live.
It wouldn't take long for police to solve Kevin's murder because one of the men responsible came forward and confessed. 21-year-old Melvin Ratcliffe told authorities exactly what went down on the night that Kevin was murdered. He stated that they decided to go for a drive, and it was 3 people in total: him, Kevin, and 17-year-old Kenneth Williams. Melvin Ratcliffe said that during their drive, Kenneth and Kevin got into a heated argument, and while Kenneth was sitting in the back seat, he pulled out a gun and shot Kevin in the back of the head 4 times. He said that he feared for his life as well, so he helped him dispose of the body on the side of the highway. And to make the situation even more tragic, Kevin was an expecting father, so his unborn son never got the opportunity to meet his dad. But despite the brutality of the crime, both men would receive relatively short prison sentences, with 17-year-old Kenneth Williams receiving 8 years and Melvin only receiving 2 years.
I think it was a friend that he didn't really totally like. He just looked at it like, oh, okay, well, you know, he don't like me, but, you know, we all good. Ain't nobody he didn't think he gonna lose his life. But, you know, they took him for a ride. The guy he didn't like sat in the back seat, and basically they shot him in the back of the head like 4 times. One of them didn't really do much time. The other one got like maybe 8 years, but got out, you know, early. So, you know, it's sad to watch, you know, but, you know, everybody got to get their judgment.
The injustice only added to the grief and heartache that the Miller family was already dealing with. But Kevin wasn't the only member of the Tuesday crew to fall victim to the streets. Out of the 7 originals, only 2 remained, Johnny and Clokey. Brothers Bruce and Brunell Jackson were both murdered, as well as Lil Nat and Chin, all cautionary tales of the street life. Master P said losing his brother was like having his heart ripped out of his chest, but he vowed to carry on, and he knew that he had to keep his brother's name alive as well. He mentioned him on his 1995 album 99 Ways to Die on the song When They're Gone. Master P would keep his promise to get his family out the hood, turning both of his younger brothers into rappers, with Corey going by the name C Murder and Vyshawn going with the name Silk the Shocker.
I gotta save you, Vyshawn. I gotta save you, C. I gotta save Romeo.
After losing Kevin, he couldn't trust no one. And that's why he wanted to turn Corey and Vyshawn into rappers.
I wanted to give my brothers something positive to do, something bigger than the streets.
And after releasing classic songs like I'm Bout It and Ice Cream Man, it was clear that No Limit was on the rise. But it was a song from the album Ghetto Dope that would really push him into the mainstream, called I Miss My Homies, and it was dedicated to their brother Kevin Miller.
The death of his 18-year-old brother Kevin 9 years ago. A shooting over drugs.
Like, Kev was a real good, solid dude too, man. Like, as a big brother, wasn't nothing he wouldn't do. He'll try his best to. If I say, oh, I need this jacket, he'll go get it. He'll hustle to get it, whatever. Yeah, he was solid. So when he lost him, it was tough for all of us, for sure.
Wow. Yeah, my brother, when he was alive, I said, bro, I'm gonna do No Limit, mobile detailing. We could just drive up to these companies, wash their car. My brother said, man, I ain't washing no white people cars. You know, he a gangster. He like, man, I ain't about to wash no people cars.
Master P would orchestrate No Limit becoming one of the most successful record labels in music history. In the year 1998, they had 23 albums released, and they were all platinum and gold. When they were kids, Master P and Kevin would talk about playing in the NBA, and despite it only being the preseason, Master P did make that happen when he suited up for the Charlotte Hornets and for the Toronto Raptors in 1998 and 99. According to Silk the Shocker, he believes that Kevin's death is what really catapulted No Limit into success, because if he didn't pass away, maybe they wouldn't have been as motivated. Maybe they wouldn't have went as hard.
You know, it's kind of sad, but you know, it's a happy moment as well, because I don't think we would have made it if he wouldn't have passed away. I think the way he passed away, it made us say like, wow, okay, it's 4 of us, and now it's only 3 of us, and the hood, the streets did that. You know what I'm saying? And so it made us like, wow, this could really happen to us. So we didn't want to lose another brother. So we just kind of like, you know, we bared down and was like, let's get out of here once and for all.
Master P created countless stars at his No Limit Records and is viewed as one of the most successful moguls in music history. But through it all, he's made sure to do one thing: keep his brother's name alive. And Kevin Miller, he was only 22 years old when he died. Rest in peace.